Jaden Yuki, a character that was so busted in the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX show that they had to nerf him with his appetite in the final episode of Season 1.
Telling my sin. Yeah, never say die. Gotta go.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the Season 1 GX deck profiles. It's me, Casual Cooper, and I'm going to be going through each of the characters' decks in day by day as a process like I did for Duelist Kingdom and Battle City. We are only going to be focusing on Season 1 of GX. For those of you that are curious, that's up to episode 52 of the show, at least of the dub version. I don't know if the subbed and dub have the same numbers. And with that, we're going to get started with good old Jaden Yuki. Now, before I get started, I should tell you that the averages have changed. The average attack point of a monster of this season is actually 1800 attack, and that's of all the decks put together. It's more like 1750, but I just rounded up for, it's more like 1750, but whatever. And then the defense stat, the average defense stat has gone up from 1500 to 1700. 1700 is now the new average defense stat of people's decks. And as you can see, I've changed my setup. Instead of just doing deck profiles where I show you their most important cards, their rare cards, I'm going to show you their whole deck. It's right there in front of you as we speak. Look, you can see me move around and touch stuff. Look at that. I'm touching the things. So, this is Jaden Yuki's deck in Season 1. Obviously, I give every character some balancing. This season, we have 80% deck accuracy with 20% balancing. And the reason I needed to do that was because a lot of people's decks did not have more than 5 cards revealed in Season 1. So I was forced to add cards for them. Jaden, he had plenty of cards shown, yet I still helped him out with balancing because his deck was ass. I tested the decks with some of my friends and he was just ass. So with the balancing, he actually became a lot better. So here we go. He's got his normal monsters, Sparkman, Clayman, Burstantrix, and Avion. These cards are all pretty solid. Clayman and Sparkman are the best he's got when it comes to offense and defense. He's got his tribute monster, Blade Edge. Blade Edge is the strongest card in his deck that isn't a fusion. He's got Necroshade, which can help him summon just Blade Edge, sadly. That is the only card it helps. It's also for fusion as well. He's got his Wild Hearts, which are really good since they're immune to trap cards, and those cards can be extremely helpful. He's got Bubbleman. He's got Rottweiler, which when he gets destroyed, he gets to add 1 Element Hero and 1 Polymerization from the graveyard, which is pretty awesome. Let's see. Then we got the King of the Swamp. This card was a gift from me. His deck was too slow. He was not fusing as much as he should have in our test duels, so I gave him a King of the Swamp as a gift. That's part of the balancing. He used the Hero Kids. The Hero Kids are not very good, but he used them. Then we got Wing Karibo. This card might actually come to save the people that get this deck in our subscriber Dynasty Series. We also have the Hero Flash, which is used with H Heated Heart, which is whatever, E Emergency Call, which is amazing, O Oversoul, which is solid, and R Righteous Justice, which is solid. Then we got the Miracle Fusion. This is probably what I would consider to be his rarest card and is probably his best chance for fusion summoning in this tournament. And actually, we were able to pull off plenty of fusions thanks to these cards and his polymerizations, which he has 3 of. He also gets a Pot of Greed, which he does have. I've given it to everybody. There's going to be like 3 staples that everybody gets in this series, and that's going to be Pot of Greed, Jaden didn't need MST thanks to R Righteous Justice, so he gets R Righteous Justice instead. And there's one more, Monster Reborn, and Monster Reborn. Everyone gets one of those, pretty much. Unless they have a replacement. He also used Sabochel the Philosopher's Stone, which is a card that works with Wing Karibo and it can be extremely busted. In fact, I pulled this in Tag Force 3 and was unable to use it because of how good it was, because it was banned. He's got Transcendent Wings to summon Wing Karibo level 10, which he does have up here. He used this against Chaz in their duel when Chaz had VWXYZ Dragon Cannon. He's got the Skyscraper that he's used multiple times, but most notably when he used it against Crowler to defeat the Ancient Gear Golem. He's he's got his Bubble Blaster, and guys, in Season 1, he had a shit ton of cards, and most of them were cards that are like Spark Blaster and stuff like that. Bubble Blaster is the only one I let him keep, because all the other ones, like, honestly, they were kind of just ass. The Clay Charge, the freak, all of them were ass. I'm sorry, I just gotta say it. So I let him keep Bubble Blaster. That's the only one he gets to keep, and he's gonna have to live with it. We got the Hero Blast trap card, one of the few trap cards he did use. He also has the Hero Signal trap card. I would consider this to be one of his rare cards as well, as this helps him search from his deck. It's a super solid card to have. And finally, the Miracle Kids, which basically weaken a monster based on how many kids you have in the graveyard. So basically, kill kids and you get to weaken your opponent. That is all for Jaden's deck. I'm going to go ahead and go through his extra deck where he has his fusion monsters galore, and these are all his Season 1 fusion monsters. There you go. His best one is probably Shining Flare Wingman. This could be considered his boss or ace monster. This is more like his ace, but this is his boss monster right here. This is the strongest card in his deck. Not the easiest thing to summon, but a little bit better now that we've given him the King of the Swamp. And honestly, this is going to be, you know, really solid for his deck. I'm going to be going through the stats. I decided to keep the stats even though I'm showing you off the entire deck. And Jaden's stats, I'm sad to say, are not very good when it comes to attack, because we're going to start off with his attack stat. And overall, his attack stat is about 3 bars. The reason he's 3 bars is the new average is 1750. It's like 18, but 1750 attack. And his best beater is literally 1600. This man is just sad. Now, it's not the saddest deck in the world because he does have powerful cards, Blade Edge, that bring his average up. He does have monsters that actually can help. He has a lot of fusions, which bring his average up, but since they're harder to summon, they require more points for me to give them, bonuses for their stats. In fact, if he didn't have all these fusions and Blade Edge, he'd be at a 1 star or a 1 bar or a 2 bar. But I'm going to give Jaden a 3 bar in attack stat for this deck. When it comes to defense, that's where Jaden gets a little bit better because Jaden does run Double Clayman. Double Clayman helped his average go up quite a bit. The Wild Heart actually does help a little bit as well with its 1600 defense. Blade Edge does not help, being a double tribute with 18. And Necroshade at 18, but it's a 1 tribute, is not the best. Wing Karibo has a defensive ability, so I've decided to give him bonus points for that. And I guess Miracle Kids can help with the little bit of, just a little bit of stuff. So I've decided that Jaden is going to receive 5 bars for his defense stat. That is where his stats get a little bit better. Clayman is literally the only one to thank for that. A 2000 defense stat in this kind of a tournament will defend you for quite a while because a lot of characters have very specific spells and trap cards that requires certain materials just to get better. And certain monsters that take a lot of time to summon. Clayman can hold off most of the regular ones. So, that's a really solid monster. Now, when we get into Jaden's speed stat, that's where things get scary, because Jaden is a fast mofo. He's got Bubble Man for special summoning. He's got Wing Karibo level 10, which is a special summon. He's got Hero Kids, which is special summons. He's got, let's see, where are they? He's got Miracle Fusions. He's got Polarizations. He has got plenty of fusions. You could ignore Monster Reborn, as everybody has one. Hero Blast is technically a special summon. You got Hero Signal, that's special summon, that's all speed. Remember that the speed stat is based on special summoning potential mixed in with search potential, which search potential, King of the Swamp that I gave him. Rottweiler, there we go, Rottweiler's search potential. Other than that, emergency call, Oversoul, look at those recovery cards. Jaden is incredible when it comes to the speed stat. And for that, I'm actually going to say, Jaden, you get a maxed out speed stat. Jaden is one of the fastest characters in this tournament, if not the fastest character in this tournament. A maxed out bar may not mean he's the fastest because he actually might be tied with other people, but he's just got so much search potential that it's unstoppable. I can't stop him from having a maxed out bar. The problem is, even though he has all this search and special summons, they require certain materials to make, and let's just be honest, his average attack and defense, average attack is kind of ass. Even when it comes to some of these fusions, it's kind of ass. I guess Thunder Giant is where it starts to be decent. Thunder Giant mixed with, just Thunder Giant and Wild Edge and Tempest. Yeah, most of these fusions suck when it comes to attack stat. But that's going to be it for Jaden's speed stat. This is where he stands out. This is where he's actually amazing. Now, the skill stat, for those of you that don't remember from Battle City, the skill stat is based on other wing conditions. They could be straight up win conditions like Exodia. They could be straight up burn conditions. Burn cards will give you a win condition. They could be stall cards. Stall cards give you a win condition. And other means of winning can be attacking your opponent directly over other monsters. Doing piercing damage can affect your skill stat and stuff like that. And for Jaden, he's got a lot of different stuff. He's got a healing monster, which technically that does affect the skill stat if you can heal. He's got an attack directly monster in Mariner. He's got a burning monster in Flame Wingman. He's got an attack directly monster in Rampart Blaster. He's got burning in Shining Flare Wingman. He's got a burning, or a piercing with H Heated Heart that does piercing damage. So that could also help. He's got Blade Edge for piercing damage. So his skill stat is not terrible. Now, there are a lot of characters in this this tournament that actually are more focused on the skill stat. Jaden's skill stat's just kind of willy-nilly, and a lot of it focuses on his extra deck, which he does not have perfect access to. It's not one card drawn and then you get to do something like H Heated Heart. So his skill stat is actually just going to be average, just a 4-bar average, which is fine. He's got a lot of options. They're just not easy to obtain options, which is why I can't give him a better stat. Which is not bad, though. 4 bars on skill is actually really solid. Maxed out speed stat, really solid. 5 bars on defense, really good. The attack is where I'm just really sad for him. And we do need to talk about Jaden's brick stat. And this is where things get a little bit strange. Because Jaden does have search potential with E Emergency Call. He has recovery potential with O Oversoul. He's got Monster Reborn. He's got Hero Signal. You know, he's got all these cards that help bring stuff back. And yet he still is decently bricky. I'm not going to lie. He actually does have a brick problem. When I was playing this game with my friends, despite all the search, despite all the special summons, I was still bricking practicing with his deck, and they were still bricking practicing with his deck, because you get so many polymerization fusion stuff that don't go together. Like, literally, I've had, like, Burstinatrix with Sparkman, with Necroshade, and they don't make anything. My hand just bricks on me. Wingcreeble level 10 is a brick. Transcendent Wings is a brick. Philosopher's Stone might be a brick. It kind of is too dependent on Wingcreeble. It's like a ritual monster. It's so dependent on Wingcreeble being in the grave. There are a lot of bricks in Jaden's deck, so actually his deck is pretty bricky. And it's just something that he's going to have to deal with. So despite everything, I do have to give Jaden quite the brick stat. And that's when we can get on to Jaden's potential, which is the bottom left of your screen right now. Now, Jaden's potential for winning this entire tournament, in my opinion, as the main character, as the protagonist, 1.5 stars out of 5. This is a pitiful, sad excuse for a deck, and the only reason I have to say that out loud is because a lot of the times that we practice with this deck, his attack points were just so freaking awful. He would just get run over by stronger opponents, and the weaker opponents had other win conditions that would eventually beat him before he could even pull off classic fusion monsters that actually helped him out. And that's with the King of the Swamp support in his deck. So, Jaden Yuki, I honestly believe you can win a battle or two maybe in this tournament. I just don't think you can win the tournament, and the potential stat is based on whether or not the character can win the tournament. A character that receives a 2.5 stars as the average, that's average of 5, you know, 2.5 stars, is someone I think that can win but will not. Jaden is a 1.5. He's a person I think will not win but might surprise us. So, that's going to be it, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's Dynasty Series deck profile. This will be the Elemental Hero Jaden Yuki deck of Season 1. And I know I left out plenty of cards and I gave him some balancing, but remember, that's kind of the point. 80% story accurate for Season 1 up to Episode 52, 20% me just trying to help him out with some balancing issues. And there are a couple in here that I help with balancing issues as well. So, oh, this is also a break, Hero Flash. So that's going to be it, guys. Thank you all for watching. If you're enjoying this series, please remember to like and subscribe. If you want to be a part of this subscriber Dynasty series, all you got to do is follow me on Discord and follow me on, and get Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega right here. Get Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega and copy this deck into your thing. All right, exactly. Copy this deck exactly. If you guys do not copy the decks exactly right, I will not put you in the episodes, and I will actually kick you and ban you on all of my social media and stuff, which is a little sad because I just want to hang out, you know? I just want to play games with everybody. I think it'd be a fun time. But here we go. This is the deck exactly. Make even one mistake and you're in trouble. I'll see you all next time, guys. Bye-bye.